Tonight we report on how much Moses Lake will pay its departing city manager, and a man is heading to prison for robbing 2 convenience stores. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Thanks, Alan. Moses Lake soccer had a rough outing on the pitch, and afraid of softball drops 2 at Othello. Let's take a peek at our Weather Center forecast.
Good to be with you, everybody. Bit of an unsettled scenario continues along the area overnight tonight. There is a cold front in the forecast. I'll bring you all the details in a few moments.
I'm Alan Troop, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Former Moses Lake City Manager Joe Gavinsky is receiving more than $200,000 during the next year in separation pay and consulting fees. The City Council approved an agreement on Monday night to pay Gavinsky more than $74,000 within 15 days and an additional $121,000 on January 4th. City officials also agreed to pay for his and his spouse's medical benefits for 16 months. In return, Gavinsky agreed not to file a lawsuit for discrimination or wrongful termination and be available to testify in court and keep city information confidential. The agreement followed several meetings where City Council members met behind closed doors to discuss potential litigation and to evaluate the performance of an employee. When they voted on the agreement, no one discussed it. Gavinsky won't be leaving city service immediately. The council approved a contract to pay Gavinsky $15,000 a month between April 7th and July 7th to consult with interim city manager Gilbert Alvarado. Cold Train Express, a rail service that formerly shipped produce from the Port of Quincy, is suing Burlington Northern Santa Fe for $41 million. Reporter Jeff Chu has more on the lawsuit.
Cold Train Express, the rail service that once shipped Columbia Basin produce from the Port of Quincy's intermodal terminal to Chicago, filed a $41 million lawsuit Wednesday against Burlington Northern Santa Fe. Cold Train states in the lawsuit that Burlington Northern Santa Fe hauled larger volumes of oil and coal from the Northern Plains region in 2013, causing rail congestion and delivery delays. Burlington Northern Santa Fe delayed shipments of produce that required a 3-day shipment guarantee to eastern U.S. destinations, the lawsuit claims. The special 3-day service is essential for apple and pear growers and shippers because the fresh produce must ultimately be delivered to retail warehouses within a short period of time, according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit states anything longer than the 72-hour shipping time frame effectively precludes such growers and shippers from using rail service. Cold Train, which started service in Quincy in 2010, states that business was lost and the company shut down the Quincy operation as a result of the slowdown in Burlington Northern Santa Fe's service schedule changes in fall 2013. The lawsuit was filed by former Cold Train Chief Executive Officer Stephen Lawson in U.S. District Court in Wenatchee. Michael Lerner, the former CEO of Rail Logistics, the company that operated Cold Train, is named as a plaintiff along with Lawson. Burlington Northern Santa Fe spokeswoman Courtney Wallace said the company had not been served with a complaint and cannot categorically comment on allegations they had not seen. I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
A Moses Lake man is serving 8 years in prison for robbing 2 convenience stores in November 2013. Cruz Vasquez, a 22-year-old man, pleaded guilty in Grant County Superior Court to 2 counts of robbery in the first degree with a deadly weapon. Judge Evan Spurline sentenced Vasquez to 8 years in prison. Vasquez was one of 4 people charged in connection to the robberies of Toad's Astromart on Pioneer Way and Junior's Economart on Broadway Avenue. He was involved in both of the robberies. Vasquez and another man were leaving a party when Vasquez showed the other man a revolver and said he was going to rob the Toad's Astromart store. Surveillance video shows Vasquez approach the store and go inside. He held the clerk at gunpoint with a revolver, demanded cash, and fled with $330. The next night, Vasquez and another man went to a West Broadway Avenue Chevron gas station, used the same gun to rob the second business. And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
And we'll be back right after this.